Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well and I hope that, everything is working out the way you want it to be. Um that being said, my name is Titi and if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome as well. um I know last week we talked about not last week, the last episode, we actually talked about practices for integrating your dominant feminine archetype. And this week we will be discussing how to embrace and transmute your shadow traits. Because whether you like it or not, we all have our shadow side, and it's really important that we're in control of, this part of us. That being said, quick check in. I know there's so much going on around us now, and we're just trying our best to stay safe and to stay sane. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going well for you. I hope that you're taking it one step at a time and you're being easy with yourself, and you understand that you're only human and you're not perfect, right? I am doing okay, except my allergies are literally messing me up right now. Like, I have this bad reaction. I have really, really bad allergy, if you don't know. Like, really, really bad. And it's like now we're getting a spring, and I'm just messed up right now. But I'm hanging in there. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is TT, and I just come up here to read to you guys. And we just don't read any type of books. Any type of book we read, like books that empower us, that also help us to like embrace every part of ourselves, and knowing that we're not perfect, right? And while we're you know leaving, we're also learning, right? And also embracing our imperfections as well. So as I said, this week we'll continue with the topic how to embrace and transmute your shadow traits. And I'm gonna go ahead and read. And once I'm done reading like a few pages, we are going to I have two oracle cards here that I already picked out. I'm gonna read that to you guys as well. Let's get into it. Regardless of the divine feminine archetype you are embodying, more often than not, you have shadow traits that overtake your light aspect. How do you handle it when this happens? Here are some general tips. Accept that these shadow traits are part and parcel of who you are. If you can't, they will appear to hold you hostage. There is no way you learn what triggers you to express these dark aspects, let alone check them. And that's true. I always tell people. People think I'm like some people think I'm funny because I tell them what my bad side or my shadow trait are, and I'm only able to say that because I'm in control of them, and they think it's funny because I don't show that trait, but I'm telling them that I have those traits, and I'm telling them that it's because I have control over it, and I have chosen to not act on them, and they're against my values, my beliefs, and I'm not going to act on them. It's like seeing somebody trying to manipulate me, and then I'm there, I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't think you understand how manipulative I can be. I just choose to not be manipulative. So I recognize it when someone is trying to be manipulative and stuff like that. But there are other stuff. I can talk about my shadow trait because I'm in control of them. And and every time I've talked about it, people don't believe that I have those traits. But I know I have those traits. It's just because I'm not gonna act on them. That's why they don't know that I have. They don't believe that I have those traits. Number two, become more self-aware by using meditation, contemplation, and journaling, among other similar practices, to get in touch with your authentic self. These tools will help you learn who you are what you feel, what you think, and why you act the way you do. This is necessary before you can embrace your shadow side and transmute it. Number three, reframe your dark side by recognizing that it allows you to become the best version of yourself. If you're curious about it, you'll learn how it serves you and you'll become a better person for it. Number four, pay attention to how you speak to yourself. If you are cruel and cutting, you need to cut that out right now and choose to be compassionate instead. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, you don't have permission to say it to yourself. And that is the fact. It's so easy to like treat other people nicely, kindly, and then we find it so difficult to treat ourselves that way. We are so quick to like say negative things to ourselves, which makes absolutely no sense. Okay. I've had to learn that, and now it's like, as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to accept things that I'm not going to do to myself from other people. So here's a specific advice for each of the four dominant feminine archetypes. For the maiden, when your shadow side takes over, you are prone to being excessively dependent on others, acting irresponsibly, and being a little too naive for your own good. When you find yourself expressing these shadow traits, return to being curious. Become passionate about figuring things out for yourself. Curiosity will help you deal with your naivety as you learn that you need to progress in life. If you are overwhelmed, don't be afraid to ask for help. But don't play the damsel in distress either. You should always do your part to improve your situation. When you inevitably make mistakes, everyone does in bracket. Be quick to take up responsibility for your choices and turn your attention to seeking solution. I always, sometimes, because uh, as someone who works, as well, I'm sorry, my allergies are messing with me. I've dealt with other people, and when I see some people become so defensive when they make mistake, and you try to tell them that you know you just made a mistake, they become so defensive. And in my head, I'm like, do you know it's okay to make mistakes? Like, you are not perfect. Just admit that you made a mistake and move on. What kind of pisses me off the most is the fact that we both see that you made that mistake, right? And then you just become so defensive because you want to think that no, you cannot make any mistake. No, no, that's not acceptable. I think that it's okay. I don't think, I know that you should know within yourself that you're not perfect and you're allowed to make mistakes, and just admit it when you make mistakes so that people can move on from it. All right. So we have for the mother, as your shadow self, you tend to be overprotective. Naturally, this means you do what you think you must to keep the people you love safe. So, what's the problem here? Your overprotectiveness causes you to become manipulative. Eventually, when the people around you have had enough, they'll feel smothered by you. Therefore, your task is to learn to draw the line not just for others but for yourself. You can help so much, but no further. You must realize that people are autonomous beings who can and will make their own decisions regardless of your advice or opinions. So practice trusting others and be deliberate about letting go when you sense you're being strong-handed or manipulative. Rather than be overprotective, recognize the independence of others and honor it. Rather than mentally strong a strong arm person, someone it wait. Rather than mentally strong arm someone into doing what you want through manipulation, communicate your concern using reasons and then get your hands off the wheel. Rather than smother people, give them the room to breathe and figure things out for themselves, because this is the only way they will grow. And this is so true. As someone who also connects with the mother archetype, if you remember when I started talking, when I started this video, I talked about how one of my toxic trait, one of my shadow side is being manipulative, because I know and now I'm reading this here. I know I can see where this is coming from, and that's the part that I've really worked on. And I think it became easy for me because I'm a really very independent person as well. So because I'm like that, it kind of became easy for me to also see other people's independence and respect it, right? But yeah, you see what I was talking about. Anyway, for the wild woman, wildness is fun, but when it gets out of hand, you can become a tad too reckless. Some would argue to the point of being destructive. You even sabotage yourself in the process. How can you combat this dark side? Learn to become more strategic in deciding what's worth the risk and what isn't. Take that wild, beautiful energy of yours and deliberately channel it only to constructive ends. The hallmarks for of this archetype are adventure and spontaneity. Two things that guarantee mistake will be made. So when you realize you've missed the mark, own your mistake. Recognize that accepting responsibility for things not going as you prefer isn't an indictment of who you are or your instinctive value. The transmutation work set out for you is to tame your recklessness unless and until you have enough information to unleash it however you please. Take your tendency to destroy and shift it towards creating whether a project, a new skill, or connection with others. As for your self sabotaging aspect, It can easily be quelled when you choose to be compassionate and kind to yourself, forgiving yourself for everything you hold against you. After all, you made the best choices you could make at that time with the information and your state of mind. Things may not pan out, but it doesn't mean you should keep your perceived flaws, perceived flaws hanging over your head like a guillotine. I think that's what it is. And then for the crone, your shadow self prefers to disconnect from others, isolating herself completely so no one can reach her. You're full of cynicism in this state, never expecting anything good from anyone or any situation. You are too rigid, set in your ways, and unwilling to try something new, even if it could be better than whatever you have going on right now. You have to find the funny in life, no matter how dark it may seem. There's always something to laugh at, but you have to be looking for it first. You'll benefit tremendously from accepting that things change, and even more so from actively working to create a community of people with a shared vision. Your cynicism can and should be transmuted into wisdom. A crucial part of wisdom is discernment, which is instrumental in helping you understand who and what to trust. You have this ability within you, and the more you work with it, the more you count on yourself. Once you trust yourself, your cynicism will melt because you'll realize that even if others prove to be something other than they seemed initially, you will do the right thing for yourself by walking away and asserting your boundaries. Choose to be flexible. Ab- about think about the arbitrary do's and don'ts you set for yourself and question them. Be willing to learn new ways of being and living. You will love it. The world within and the world without. Embodying and expressing your feminine energy highly depends on two environments, the one in your mind and the one around you. You're far more likely to truly express yourself when these two environments are harmonious, allowing you to honor the divine feminine. So, here are some ways to set up sacred spaces where you can rejuvenate and practice self reflection. And by the way, about the crone, I literally feel connected to that a lot, like a lot. All right, so we're gonna read these two part, and then I'm gonna read your oracle cards. I don't want to be making longer videos anymore because I feel like, um, you know, I want to make it short and not like put too much information or too much pages, like too much reading into one. So anyway, so creating a safe spot. So pick a spot in your home you can claim as your own. Choose somewhere everyone knows they must avoid, as it is your private place. This space should have your personal effects and decorations that remind you of your archetype. You may want to decorate it with unique stones, crystal, plants, sculptures, wind chimes, or anything else you feel matches your archetype vibe. This place must be quiet, or at least it should have an ambient sound that won't distract you from your spiritual and self reflection practices. Set up an altar in this space. You don't have to if you don't want to, but altars are lovely because they act as an energetic magnet, drawing your focus to your meditation, contemplation, journaling, and rituals, while also pulling the divine feminine energy so it feels real to you. Your altar could have statues or pictures of the goddess you are drawn to, precious stones, beautiful flowers, books that hold meaning for you and remind you of who you are, and anything else your heart tells you would fit on it. You could have candles, which should only ever be lit when you can keep an eye on them. Scented candles would be an awesome addition to your altar for a more sensory experience. Prepare your mind and heart for your mental and emotional environment. You should always leave all your troubles behind when it's time to do your work, whether a ritual, shadow work, meditation, or anything else. If you bring said troubles with you, it should be intentional, with the understanding that you will transmute them into better outcomes through your rituals. In other words, you should intend that the divine feminine will help you with whatever is bothering you. This intention will help you shift from an energy of fear, anxiety, and worry to peace, gratitude, and trust that loving Mother Goddess has already sorted it all out. Before wrapping up this chapter, there's one point to always keep in mind. You will have a more profound connection with the divine feminine when you accept that you are worthy. You are worthy of having the gift of life. You are worthy of her love, attention, and other gifts for the simple fact that you exist. You don't need to do, be, or have some extra special ephemeral quality to experience this energy's reality and love in your life. Well, there's one thing you must do: discover your self worth. By using the practical exercises in this chapter, you surely find it. Here's something even cooler: you discover your worth as no end or depth. Your self worth is infinite. Infinite. Begin now by using this advice you've received so far. Begin loving your magnificent self. Begin creating as though you could never create badly, and amaze yourself with just how much compassion you can extend to yourself, even when your ego tries to convince you that you are not so hot. We don't care. All right. So, we don't care about this ego thing, okay? So anyway, guys, we are going to stop there and we will continue with the sacred union within, balancing your energies, okay? And I'm going to go ahead. I have the phoenix and I have sacrifice here. So I'm going to go ahead and read out to you guys, and that'll be 31 into 36. Um I hope you guys actually found that helpful. Um, you know, I hope you did. All right. So Phoenix, if you don't know, Phoenix is about like rebirth, right? And it's like a rebirth, like a new life. Like, it's like a new life after like a tower moment, if that makes sense. So it says, summoned, your flesh rises from the ashes and into the expansive flame of your soul. Phoenix is the ultimate expression of life, death, and rebirth. She allows self destruction to take hold, tearing apart the old so that a new, more enlightened being can take shape. You can see the intelligent process of the life and death cycle all the time. One season shed into another. One day drifts into the past and allows a new day to enter the present. The bush loses one brilliant bloom so that a new rose can flourish. Phoenix is lightning ablaze in your life. You are about to embark on a fresh journey. But before you can welcome the new, you must be willing to shed something old. Do not consider this process to be a sacrifice. Instead, consider it to be a trade in or an upgrade rather than a loss, for what you will receive in return will be much improved from what you have now. Even if you are happy with your current situation, pulling this card is a sign that there are bigger, better things just over the horizon. Additionally, Phoenix represent a breakthrough or a significant change in circumstances. What you have inquired about today is nearly as its end. In this way, Phoenix represents hope for a new beginning. You may be the lucky receiver of a financial windfall, suddenly find a solution to a long term problem, or move past troubles in a relationship. Be at peace, for soon all will be well. All will be well. All will be well with you. And then it's so funny that says, don't think about it as a sacrifice, but the other card is sacrifice. So I'm going to read it. It means change. You must find the ebb and flow of life within your very self. Embracing it all is embracing truth. Sacrifice invites you to let go of something that is preventing your growth. You do not wish to move on, but deep down you know this is a necessary step on your path towards greater fulfillment. This can mean moving to a new home, embracing a new career or a way of thinking, or even a rite of passage such as a graduation. You know that you are on your way to more, but the moment is still bittersweet. Pulling sacrifice shows that you have some doubts about your next steps. You wonder if you have made the right choices or if you will later regret your actions. Yes, there will be challenges ahead and perhaps more sacrifices to come, but you must be willing to sacrifice something small to reap the rewards of something greater. It's time to commit to your choices and move on in the knowledge that there is much more for you to explore. And guess what? It is on page 111. All right, guys, seriously, this is encouraging you to, and guess what? The phoenix and the sacrifice is saying the same thing. The letting go of something. And you know that you have to let go of this thing. And it's like before you get to the next step, you have to let go of something, and you're being literally encouraged to, take that bold step of, like, letting go of something and um embracing the news so that something new can come into your life. All right, so we're gonna stop there and we are going to continue on the next episode. I hope you guys found this episode so helpful. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so that you know you can join the family. And also turn on your post notification so that whenever I, post something, you can definitely know when. I want to thank you guys for giving me your time. The most valuable thing to me is time. I do not play with my time. And it feels good to share my time with you guys. And I also want to thank you guys for taking the time to, or for, sharing some of your time with me. I do not take it for granted at all. And I just want to thank you for that. That being said, I'm gonna be back again on the next episode. In the comments, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this episode. Let me know you know, how you feel about it, what you have on your mind about it. And you know, do you find it easy to connect to, recognize your toxic traits and also be in control of them? Ask yourself and let me know it, or if you're still, if it's something that you're still struggling with. We're not perfect, okay? We take it one step at a time. All right, guys, take care and bye bye now.